But Khan Sahib, you talked about love for the country, but country gave you nothing. Country cheated you, country gave you tremendous anguish. That's your willpower. That you were always hopeful, you never complained, you wrote poetry, you used poetry for your catharsis. Country did not give you anything. Moreover, let me counter your argument. Country is just a piece of land. It could be any place. Like the Holy Prophet Mohammad, peace be upon him, said that you must migrate, and he also migrated. There is no concept of country in Islam. And how do you look at this philosophy?
Well, first,
Every piece of land can be your country if you are sincere to that piece of land.
yes. First, let me say that first, I totally believe in Allah and His Prophet. Peace be upon him. I totally believe in my religion of Islam.
Mhm.
Pakistan, for me, is not the territory alone. It is the people of Pakistan.
Mhm.
If we find corruption at the top, at the same time, in the middle classes and in the poor people of Pakistan, we find a kind of love which you cannot get anywhere in the world. A simple example, for example. If I go to have a cup of coffee in the Kosar
Mhm.
or at the Marriott or the Signa, I always greet all the guards, anyone who opens the door for me.
Mhm.
Yes. The poorest of the poor who are working there. And they treat me as royalty. Why? I am not royalty.
No, because you treat them with love. That's the reason.
I treat them with love.
Yes.
But I get that love back from them.
And you will get this love back anywhere in the world as long as you are treating others with respect and love.
Yes, you can get it back, but not in the same manner which is in the heart of the Pakistani. You see, the Pakistani heart is a very big heart. It can take a lot of punishment. I know it. I took a lot of punishment.
Yes.
Yes.
And I think you suffered a cardiac.
I had a heart problem which was solved, thank God. Thank God. But that was because of
It
that
happened
stress.
after you came to Pakistan.
That's right. That stress was caused because of what had happened here. But thank God I'm in perfect condition now. But the worst thing is this, that in our country, we have lost total regard for the poor and the middle class. This country was made in the name of Islam. This country was found in the name of Islam. And we forgot the true meaning of Islam. We forgot that if there is a person next door to you who is dying of starvation, you make sure that he gets food.
Yes.
You make sure that you take care of his children.
Yes.
And we forgot all this.
Yes.
And a country that should have prospered has incurred the wrath of God twice and has still not learned its lesson. It happened in the great earthquake in Kashmir. Second time it has happened again this year in the great floods, which have been described as floods brought by divine providence. And recently I came back from Deal. I was invited by the Federal Minister, Dr. Irshadullah Khan, and I was there in Chakrada. And I found that the water level from the river had risen 50 feet. And miles of territory that was green with trees and vegetation was wiped out. So much so that from the mountains, good earth did not come. But little pebbles came. Pebbles on pebbles on pebbles that have covered that area for miles. And no one can grow there anything for years to come. I think this is the wrath of God. And I believe that if we don't change now, we will receive far worse punishments, tidal waves, and earthquakes in the future, and more floods in the future, Because God is not angry with us. We are not treating our people right. We are not caring for our people. You know, their suicide level in Pakistan is incredibly high. Parents are killing themselves and their families. Mothers are going and lying in front of railway tracks because they cannot feed their children. And people don't care.
So what should we do?
I think the people of Pakistan will rise.
So how?
We are close to revolution.
How the governor Punjab is killed at Kohisar market by his own guard, and lawyers and media who played a great role for the revival of judiciary is showering flowers on that murderer. He is being projected as a hero of Islam.
This was the most shameful act I saw ever on television. The showering of those flowers on a blatant criminal. In the Holy Quran, it is said clearly that you will never be forgiven if you take one life. And if you save one life, that's the greatest reward that God will give to you, is for saving that one life.
So what future do you see for Pakistan in such circumstances when liberal people, moderate people have no say, the establishment supports militants, criminals, extremists, suicide bombers? Is there any future left? How about your son? Is he here or is he working abroad?
They are both coming back. The older boy has completed 2 law degrees. He's finishing a 3rd degree in cybercrime.
Will they work in Pakistan or?
Yes, they will come back to
Despite everything?
Despite everything. And the younger one is doing his MBA, and he's going to come and join me in Pakistan.
You would still encourage them to live in Pakistan, work in Pakistan, despite seeing all this chaos, despite seeing so much religious fundamentalism in this country?
I think if people like us don't stand up to what is right, if we don't stand up for a religion in its true sense, which is a religion of peace. Our greeting to everyone is, may God's peace be upon you. If we do not support the real religion of Islam as God has given it to us, as our holy prophet, peace be upon him, as our holy prophet, peace be upon him, gave to us and exemplified by his exceptionally beautiful life, we lose our country. And I don't want to lose Pakistan.
Coming back to poetry, Khan Sahab, you have been writing poetry for a long time. Yes. I think you have published 6 volumes so far?
No, I have published 19
volumes. Yes. And your poetry has also been translated into different languages.
That's right.
Chinese,
French, Russian, Arabic.
Why not Urdu, Khan Sahab?
Well, I would like to find someone who could do it in Urdu.
Because thus it will reach to
yes,
a lot of people who cannot read these languages.
Yes. I would very much like it to be translated into Urdu one day, because that is our language. But more than that, I think the poetry is one thing when it's expressed in your own national language. It really reaches the people.
And you use such an easy language, simple language for your poems. Why it is so? Although you have a degree in literature, you have studied abroad,
yes,
and yet your language is so simple and straight.
I think your language that you use when you write is actually the language of your soul and your mind. And I think for me life is simple. I don't have any hang-ups in my life. I'm very happy with my life. I have gone through all kinds of things in Pakistan, but I have always remained happy and cheerful, because I believe that one should always look at the positive side, even in the most dangerous zones of life that you enter sometimes.
What poetry means to you, Hansa? Is there any purpose of it?
Yes. My poetry is, as you know, my earlier poetry was love poetry, my youth. And then my poetry turned to social events around me. basically related with the middle class and the poor of Pakistan, with social issues. So it means that with that poetry, I aim to change at least a mindset of some people whom it reaches. But because it's not in Urdu, it has established a very good niche abroad, but not a very wide niche in Pakistan.
Do you think that there is a need to promote poetry in Pakistan?
Yes, I think there is a very big need. Because poetry.
You are carrying out a number of projects.
Yes.
How about another project on poetry?
I would like to, actually I am planning to carry out actually a much bigger project than poetry.
Like introducing a prize for poetry or setting up a foundation for poetry?
Yes, I think that's a very good idea. I'm going to look at it. It's a very good idea. But also I'm planning to set up 2 orphanages here in Islamabad. For 1,000 orphans each, for boys and girls. And the idea is to give them education till degree level. And these orphanages are being planned. We've already started work on it. These orphanages are being planned on the latest model of schools abroad. They'll be as good as any school in Pakistan. And we will give them the best education, the best accommodation, free uniforms, everything that a kid could want. Only thing we will have is this, that we'll make them sign an affidavit and swear on the Holy Quran that when they get their first job, they'll pay a part of their salary back to the foundation.
Excellent idea. Khan sir, my last question. What life has taught you so far that you would like to share with your sons as well as people like us?
I think the most important lesson that life has taught me and is teaching me every day is we must look after our poor. We must care for our poor. And we must feel for our poor. If we can achieve this, then at least my life's purpose has been achieved.
Thank you very much, Khan sir.
My pleasure. Thank you.